Torture is absolutely routine in the jail cells in Cameroon. And yet, according to this report, claims for most asylum seekers from Cameroon fall on deaf ears in Britain. The Home Office refusal rate for Cameroonians ran at 81% in 2000, and it climbed to 87% in 2006. There have been dozens and dozens of extrajudicial killings in Cameroon over the years. There were dozens in the year 2000. None of them was investigated by the authorities. That's the kind of brutality and abuse and anti-democratic, routine anti-democratic behaviour that's going on by the Paul Biya government. John Matthews is chair of the Glasgow branch of the NUJ. He was down in Colnbrook a couple of days ago and spent several hours with Charles. So I want John to tell us a bit about what's going on in Colnbrook and how Charles is reacting to all of this.
Thanks, Pete. Last week I visited Charles Atangana at Colnbrook Immigration Centre near Heathrow Airport. I just want to echo something that the others have said. When I was visiting with Charles, he looked round the room, the visitor centre, and he said, "I want to thank all the people in Glasgow and at home that are supporting me." He said, "But I'm looking around this room just now, and I'm seeing all these other people in here who have no support. Let's not beat about the bush. Colnbrook is a prison, and Charles is a prisoner. And what crime did Charles Atangana commit that meant he had to be taken from his home and detained hundreds of miles from his friends, colleagues and supporters? What crime did Charles Atangana commit that he means he has to be locked in a cell from 10 o'clock at night to 7 o'clock in the morning and at several other times during each day? What crime did Charles Atangana commit that his visitors have to wait in a queue for up to an hour to provide identification, be fingerprinted, searched and have all property removed from them before they're allowed to see him? What crime did Charles Atangana commit that means he has become Home Office reference A1227296? What crime did Charles Atangana commit that means our government is prepared to effectively sentence him to death? The answer, of course, is none. 6 years ago, Charles fled to this country from illegal incarceration, torture and abuse in Cameroon. He fled to this country because he believed he would be safe. He fled to this country because he believed we shared his principles and his high regard for human rights. And our government seems determined to prove him wrong. In Cameroon, Charles exposed corruption at the highest levels of government. Of course, they tried to stop him. They tried to destroy his professional reputation. They tried to bribe him into silence. They bribed his employers to take away his livelihood. They threatened him and his family. None of that stopped him. Finally, they snatched him off the street and tortured and abused him for 40 days in an effort to get him to reveal his sources. None of his family, none of his friends knew where he was. They believed he was on a journalistic assignment somewhere in the country. He got so ill that his guards feared that he might die before revealing anything and took him under guard for hospital treatment. Now, I can't go into too many details because other people are involved, but in hospital, Charles managed to bribe others into helping him escape, and he was smuggled onto a plane leaving Cameroon. This is what he said about that. "When the plane took off, for the first time, I felt free. I finally believed I would be safe." Even here, Charles has not stopped exposing government corruption in Cameroon. And still they've tried to stop him. He's continued to write online, and websites he has contributed to have been shut down. He is in death threats. One Cameroonian official told Charles, "We don't know exactly where you are living, but we will find out, and it only takes one bullet." None of this has stopped Charles fighting for principles that unite humanity. Compassion, trust, respect, freedom of expression, freedom from violence, freedom from oppression, and freedom from corruption. And Charles has exposed those who would deny them. Our country, Great Britain, has claimed protection of these principles as justification for invading other countries and waging war. And now it seems that our country, Great Britain, may finally do what his oppressors have failed to do. Stop Charles by delivering him into the hands of people who will do anything to finally silence him. This must not happen.